Hello, and welcome to the SearchPilot webinar, Shopper Behavior is Changing. Are SEO teams chasing outdated KPIs? So the reason I decided to choose this particular webinar topic is that we had noticed across all of SearchPilot a trend in our e-commerce customers. We were seeing that traffic year over year was declining, but at the same time, revenue was staying stable or even increasing, which is definitely not the way in SEO we're used to thinking of the relationship between traffic and revenue. So we started asking ourselves, where are these clicks going? How can I prove SEO still matters in this environment where we're seeing those year over year declines, that very traditional SEO KPI is not looking so great, and yet at the same time, we're seeing that revenue number go up. So I am going to take you through what is happening to the purchase funnel, what this means for your SEO KPIs, how you can report on what really matters in this environment, and how you can run SEO testing in this landscape. So first off, let's talk about what's happening to the purchase funnel. So what the funnel used to look like. This is how it might have looked, maybe 10 years ago. The old way that you might go and shop for a product was lots of clicks, lots of tabs open for browsing. You might start out with a general search query like best leather belts, for instance, that is going to get you to a lot of review sites, some affiliate marketing sites that are calling themselves review sites. Then you might look for more refined queries like best leather belts for men under $100. You click into even more sites as you further and further refine that search query. And eventually, you'll probably get to someone's page, possibly even a collection of different e-commerce pages, and then make your selection from the probably very wide variety of tabs that you have open by the end of your search. So the traditional purchase funnel starts with awareness, all of that Googling step, Googling good brands, good products, eventually finding yours. Interest would be clicking through into your site. Consideration might be comparing products on your site, on, for instance, your product listing pages, might even be going into things like blog pages to take some deeper looks at how these products are meant to be used. Intent is the step on your site where someone would probably be deciding which product they wanted to buy. Conversion would be buying the product through your site. And then loyalty would be coming back for more. So someone has entered your site at the interest phase. What it looks like today, very different user experience. I've included mobile here because I think a lot of people are doing a lot of shopping on mobile. But I've also included a screenshot. This is not actually the top of the fold for the SERPs. This is a little ways further down the fold because the top of the fold on this particular search had a massive AI overview, and I wanted to show some of the product grid that actually comes up as well. So whether you're searching on mobile or desktop, you are presented pretty fast with a range of products, basically. You've got your sponsored products right up at the top, but then you've also got a lot of organic products that are appearing in that product grid. So it is still possible to get to something like a PLP through searches like this, but there's a very good chance that you're functionally using Google search result pages as if they're product listing pages, and you don't really need to click in to compare a lot of these products because so much of this is just pulled out so nicely for you. You can filter this page. You can see details like how much things cost, whether they're on sale, aggregate customer reviews. This is a lot of the information that you need in order to make a purchase. So the digital purchase funnel right now, the awareness, the interest, and the consideration phase, all of those can happen off of your site because someone might be Googling good brands. They might be reading that AI overview. They can click into sites like Reddit, for instance, for deeper dives. They're consulting LLM chatbots to choose the specific product they want. All of that happening off your site. So intent, when they're ready to buy, they'll still click through to your site. They buy the product, making the conversion on your site, and loyalty coming back to your site. So we've moved a bit further down the purchase funnel in when someone is likely to actually click into your site. And it's very likely that by the time someone clicks into your site, they've already made a choice, or at least they have a very strong feeling about what they want to purchase. So, one possible future, if we continue down this road of more and more of the purchase funnel getting eaten by things that are happening offsite in SERPs or directly in LLM chatbots. So, there is the future where AI just eats the entire funnel. You go to ChatGPT, you ask it a very specific question. Here I've asked it, what leather belt should I buy for a cowboy outfit? It suggests some leather belts. In this future, let's say a universal commercial protocol is already enabled, so you can just click on which one looks best for your cowboy outfit and buy it directly through ChatGPT. That payment is it's still going to go to the retailer of that belt, but you have never actually clicked into their site. In this future, the future where AI takes over everything, every step of the purchase funnel is happening in the LLM chat. It might be happening in Google's AI mode. Every step of selecting that product through to purchasing it is happening in that space that is outside of your site, and at no point does the user enter your site. So that important loyalty step, the step where you might have collected someone's email address, their contact information, you have information available to help convert them not just to a one-time customer, but a lifetime customer. How are you going to build that kind of brand loyalty if someone has not given you their information directly and has never seen your site? So for fans of the classic movie There Will Be Blood, this is the I drink your milkshake approach, where AI just comes along and just siphons out all of that traffic out from under you, and there's nothing left. So a pretty gloomy look at the future. Let me give you a more optimistic look at a more likely future. In this possible future, AI is still a major part of the purchase funnel, but it is funneling buyers to your site. So people are clicking through either to your site to buy products directly from you as direct referral traffic, or they might make the selection of the product within that AI chat, but then they go to Google to search for the best place to buy it from the range of options, and they get to your site that way. So, in this future where search is AI assisted, but not entirely eaten by AI, LLM chats and AI overviews and SERPs are a large part of how consumers make those distinctions about which kinds of products they want to buy and exactly what they want to buy, but they maintain their preference for directly choosing the product themselves, so no giving up complete agentic control to AI about what to buy, and they want to make their purchases on trusted websites instead of just handing their credit card information over to AI and letting it run wild with any old retailer. So, the intent phase, the phase where they are ready to buy, they're still clicking through to your site. And the conversion, buying your product in this version of the future, is still happening on your site. So the loyalty step coming back, they may end up coming directly back to your site. You still have contact information so that you can reach out to them directly with further email promotions. So the intent phase, still happening the same way, just awareness, interest, and consideration continuing to happen offsite. Now for some good news. We are very optimistic about the future of e-commerce. Worldwide e-commerce revenue is still growing year over year, and economists are predicting 5.5 trillion global business-to-consumer e-commerce revenue in 2027. This very complex chart that is breaking down the exact categories comes from the International Trade Administration. So, how are all of these changes showing in my reporting? I've just taken all of what used to be traditional SEO traffic, moved it off-site. How do I report on what I am actually seeing here? Here's what this is going to mean for your SEO KPIs. SEO has always dealt with what's called the Red Queen effect, which is named after a scene in Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, in which the Red Queen has to keep running just to stay in one place. We all know constant movements and constant improvements have always been necessary to keep site content fresh, to prevent rankings loss. An SEO team that has good rankings is running as fast as it can to maintain those rankings. We've gotten used to using our total clicks into the site as a key indicator of whether we're running hard enough to keep in place. But as we can see, that is no longer the best key indicator of the work that we're actually doing. Because now, winning looks different. You are still running as fast as you can. You may still be maintaining or even improving your rankings, and there's still probably going to see traffic declines year over year, especially when you're looking at things like product listing pages, blog and article pages, evergreen content, the kinds of pages that happen that someone might go into when they are still in that consideration phase. That's the kind of information that can get pulled out into AI chats, into Google SERPs. They no longer need to look directly at your site to see all of the information on those pages. So this is not you. It's not your competition. This is the future of what search traffic is going to look like. You can still win in this market, but you have to understand what winning looks like so that you can measure it correctly. The real value of every click in this kind of market is actually improving. If clicks are getting less common, that means each one is likely to hold more value because every click into your site is a user who is primed to convert. They have already gone through all of those steps of consideration. They are ready to make their purchase. So very high likelihood of a user like this going directly to your product description pages, already ready to buy the product. So get ready to meet them where they are, not where they might have entered your site 10 years ago, because this is a really important increase to the importance of the organic channel. You have to be ready to grab those highly motivated users right when they're ready to convert, because every click is more valuable than it was. So start thinking about PDPs as your new landing page. I've pulled out yet another SERP screenshot here that has even more PDPs available. As you can see, the AI overview is citing some product listing pages, but really you can see the product description pages are getting those nice big detail cards with the big appealing images with information about deals. That's where people want to click when they see something like this. Websites that are designed for an older model of search that are expecting people to start their journey through the site on PLPs or evergreen pages are probably going to suffer when SERPs look like this. So start thinking about what your site needs to look like if people might start on the PDP. If that is their landing page, the landing page is the conversion page. So, what does measurable SEO success even look like in this environment? How am I going to say, look, traffic is declining, but we're winning? So let's talk about reporting on what really matters in this environment. I'm going to start telling you some KPIs that you can stop worrying about. You can stop worrying about year-over-year traffic numbers, especially for your product listing pages, and also for other pages like, as I mentioned, your blog pages, your evergreen content pages that you still need to have on your site because that information still can be pulled out into AI overviews and into LLM chats. But those are just not the pages that are going to probably be drawing the majority of your traffic in this kind of environment. Users can still see your products, but they're seeing them pulled out directly into search or directly into AI chats. You can stop worrying about your blog and article visits. Again, there's a very good chance that users actually are still seeing the information that you are putting on these pages, but they are seeing that information condensed within AI overviews or within AI chats. So you've gotten the information in front of the users when they needed it. It's just that when they needed it was before they even clicked into your site. Clicks into so let's talk about the KPIs that do matter in this environment. Clicks into your product description pages. This is the moneymaker. By the time the users reach these pages, and there's a very good chance that as soon as they're clicking into your site, they're clicking into these pages, there's a good chance they're already convinced that they want what you're selling. They clicked on that page because they are ready to make a purchase. your click-through rates are going to matter, especially if you are a third-party retailer, so you have a variety of brands that are on your site, and you are competing with sites that sell other products from the same brand. So even if someone is doing a brand-specific search, what they might be seeing an array of products, the same product from different sites. Are they likely to choose yours out of that, or are they getting to the point where they do see your site in search results, but they're clicking through to someone else? Think about what you can do to make yourself more appealing, both within those 10 blue links and, importantly, within those product grids to start getting those click-through rates up as high as they can go. And start thinking about your Google Merchant Center clicks and impressions. Google Merchant Center is a pretty key part. It is not the entirety of what is pulling into the product grid. There is on-page information that can pull into those product grids. But if you aren't paying attention to what is going into your Google Merchant Center feed, you are losing some of your best chances to present those in the most appealing way possible. So look beyond the 10 blue links. Start thinking about what is happening in the product grid. Start thinking about how you can compete in organic listings within the product grid. And remember, within the product grid, if you are a third-party seller, you sell a product that multiple different sites might be selling, you are not just competing with other products. You are competing with other sites selling the same product within each individual card within the product grid. So that is quite a lot of potential for rankings competition there. And not strictly an SEO KPI, but something that you really do need to think about in e-commerce. Think about your conversion rates on product description pages. You should have very highly motivated users who are ready to convert, reaching those PDPs. Is there something that might be stopping them from making that final purchase, or something that is not on the PDP that they need to make? Basically, they're already at the point where they're about to buy this product. There might be one last thing that they need to see, one last detail that needs to be made clear to them. Is that on the page, or have you put it on some other page on your site that you thought users would go to before they ended up on a PDP? And most important of all, think about your revenue that is attributable to your organic traffic. Make sure your site's analytics are set up and that they are clearly tracking how your organic visitors are moving through your site, how many convert, and directly make sure you know what those conversions are worth, so that you can directly say there is a relationship between who clicks into the site organically and how they convert, and you can drill into those numbers and say, look, this is what is changing. We're seeing people who have a different level of motivation to convert entering our site. Let's talk a little bit about KPIs that might matter in the future, but we're not specifically putting too much emphasis on now. Brand sentiment in AI models. This is something that a lot of people are starting to ask questions about, thinking about how are AI assistants talking about your brand with shoppers. There are some tools that can do this. However, this is still really, really early days for this kind of tracking. And a lot of these AI models are very dependent on what kind of information they have about individual customers. And also the information that they produce is not consistent every single time they're queried. So there's still a lot of variability here. Share of voice in AI chats will be very important in the future. When we start seeing more specific and detailed information coming out of these AI companies about actual analytics, about ability to measure query volume, that will probably be something that will be seriously talked about as a GEO KPI that's worth measuring. At this point, however, AI query volume is still very much a black box. And again, search volume in AI chats, there just isn't really good information right now about search volume for specific queries or specific clusters of queries. So it's definitely something to start thinking about. think about how you will report on this, but don't worry too much about having immediate reporting available on this. So, without year-over-year numbers, how are you going to prove that your SEO efforts are paying off? And the answer, of course, we're SearchPilot. We love A/B testing. I would say that testing is going to be your new tracking tool in terms of being able to tie the effort that you put into something to the direct impact on SEO. So stop chasing the wrong metrics. Before and after testing, a lot of sites use before and after testing, but it can be very, very vulnerable to seasonal changes, or even a change that isn't strictly seasonal, but is driven by something that is a pattern that is not directly attributable to the change. So if you put in a lot of effort and you put out a lot of content right before a really big sales season, and then you have a great sales season, did your content help, or were you just going to have a great sales season and the content didn't hurt? There's really no way to filter out that kind of noise. And with year-over-year traffic, as we've talked about, that is really going to reflect your broader search behavior trends. It is going to be very vulnerable to numbers looking like they're going down when your actual highly motivated users who want to buy are not going down. They're just entering your site in different ways for different reasons at different parts of the conversion funnel. And there's a very high risk that this kind of year-over-year traffic reporting is going to show declining KPIs even when you're actually winning. So, SEO A/B testing, much, much cleaner way to directly measure the actual impact of changes in the moment. So, not versus what was happening last year, not what was happening before you made the change versus after a lot of things happened and now you have to try to filter out some kind of signal in that noise. Directly using a control bucket for forecasting and comparing that to a variant group is the best way to filter out that noise of the year-over-year change in user behavior and any potential for seasonal variation, PR pushes that might drive traffic into your site, anything else that could be driving fluctuations in the traffic that is entering your site. I would really recommend, if you want to learn more about A/B testing, learning directly from the experts. Craig Bradford, who is our COO, has a free SEO testing course. It is a complete crash course in developing a testing program from the ground up. I would really, really recommend this course. If you are listening to this webinar, there's a very good chance that you've seen webinars by Craig before. He has a massive amount of SEO industry experience. He is really good at separating out what really matters in SEO from the flashy hype. So let's talk about proving that SEO has a direct tied ROI. And you can see on the right are real test results from a SearchPilot customer that I pulled out of one of our case studies, one of our recent case studies. Think about what a click into your PDPs is worth. And then think about this test. We genuinely did increase organic clicks into a customer's PDPs by 17.5%. Think of what would happen to your revenue if 17.5% more highly motivated customers were clicking into your PDPs. I do recommend as well, we have a really, really cool new feature on SearchPilot where we can actually do multi-metric testing. So we're not just looking anymore at the range of daily organic sessions coming into your site through Google just as a mass. We can actually look specifically at things like daily Merchant Center clicks and daily Merchant Center impressions. So we can look at how things are appearing in the product grid versus within those 10 blue links. We can really drill down on not just the fact that people might be entering your site through the PDPs, but where exactly in those SERPs are they seeing your PDPs and clicking through. I'd also recommend including full funnel testing. If you are making visual changes to a page, what you are doing for SEO purposes is also likely to be impacting the user experience. So add CRO to your test cycle. And this is something we do at SearchPilot. We do full funnel testing where we do both an SEO test and then a CRO test as well, so that we make sure that every SEO change we make also has a positive or neutral CRO impact, so that there's no potential damage to the likelihood of conversion when someone lands on the page, when we've managed to get more people into the page. And start thinking about future-proofing your testing with LLM AI referral tests. Start looking at whether your changes are actually resulting in more referrals from AI chats. As I've said, universal commercial protocol is not set up yet. It's not something that AI programs can do yet. So people still have to click into your site when they want to make their purchase. So this is the opportunity to start really asking the hard questions about, is this change that I made to my site changing how AI might be recommending my products? So if you're ready to see KPIs that actually matter, you can book a meeting with our team at searchpilot.com/request a demo. We are always happy to show you around the platform, and we have had a wonderful time seeing some really wonderful, successful e-commerce tests. This is going to be an amazing year, I think, for e-commerce testing. In particular, we are really excited about things we've run recently, things that are coming up. You'll probably see some more really, really interesting case studies from us very soon. So that's the end of my webinar. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Please feel free to ask me any questions that you have about SEO and CRO testing in the chat. I have had the opportunity as a member of the professional services team to take a look at a lot of tests, see a lot of the ways that changing shopper behavior is directly impacting just the way people enter a site and what happens when they actually land on that page. I would love to share what I've learned.